Hello. Now I'm coming forward with a very important article as far as this addresses not only the everyday PC users, but for all those who bring them into use in various walks of life, in business, as well as personal use. And that is the importance of inoculating your PCs. Over the past few decades, as you probably already know, the computer is about as ubiquitous as a television. In that time, the computers evolved in our daily lives, and now you'll find them incorporated into devices like our appliances, our cars, our televisions, our phones, and even in the remotes we use to control these other devices. However, like any other technology, computers have their issues. Most notably in this case is the PC, as it's used most commonly. The one common thing that computers have in common with humans, other than having a brain, is that they're prone to infection. However, instead of like germs or microbes, you're dealing with malicious programs that are written by people that are making them for ill intent or some other nefarious purposes, unfortunately. Having done PC repair myself, the greatest instance of problems I've encountered as far as the issue of needed repairs is due to the operating system's been compromised by an infection that's degraded the integrity of the filing structure. That seems to be the most common thing I encounter more than anything else. So it just shows you how prevalent this problem is. With this, it becomes apparent the importance of inoculating your computer against any kind of notable threats of infection. The vaccine in this case, though, is an antivirus program, and like our human counterparts of the PC, is important to keeping those programs up to date. So you may ask, why do I even bother? I'm pretty careful how I use my PC and the habits I use when I'm using it. The manner in which you use your system can become infected, though, are so dynamic and numerous that even with expert computer users, there's still going to come a time to where you're more than likely going to come down with your system getting infected. Because of this, attempting to protect your system without proper safeguards, it's really unwise, at all. So it's best to just knuckle down and take these precautions anyway. And according to an interesting article on this website called howtogeek.com, interesting title, antivirus software is actually about your final layer of protection in addition to the hardware barriers that you can set up against infection. Even though you can't completely avoid infection, you can at least reduce the chances and make the process of recovering your system a little easier compared to how much more damage would have been done if you hadn't taken the precautions at all. One factor, though, I see comes up, it kind of dissuades people from putting these on their systems, is the fact that a lot of the programs, at least as they used to be, would take up a lot of the computer's resources in order to give the level of monitoring of their system that would help best assure against infection. And it would take up so much that it would slow the system way down to where they would lose a lot of efficiency. And with that, they just kind of would be reluctant to install it. But nowadays, things have changed so much as far as the programming techniques and the languages in which a lot of these programs are used, or written, I should say, and the advancements in the hardware, the degrading of the computer's performance is almost negligible anymore. So there's really no reason not to install it anymore. And you definitely also want to always keep mindful of keeping it up to date, which is kind of like a human getting a booster shot when you do that. You have to keep it up to date if it's going to stay effective, because the threats are always evolving just like a real virus. And this update isn't only just limited to your antivirus software. Your operating system is definitely critical to keeping up to date too, because it just makes sense because of the major role it plays as far as you being able to make use of your computer. It's one of the key targets, of infection and hacking. So it's good to keep that up to date as often as you do your antivirus software to lessen the chances that there's a weakness in it that they can exploit, a virus, hacker, what otherwise. So you want to keep that in mind all the time in your everyday maintaining of your computer. To put it all in perspective, not having adequate virus protection in your PC is kind of similar of just not taking any steps to protect yourself at all, whether it's through vaccines or other preventative natural measures, whatever. It's just you're almost like your PC's like a sitting duck, like a human is, with no precautionary stays to help protect yourself against infection. So if you get any ideas of not doing it just on a sheer of worrying about how it's going to affect its performance, not an issue, and I don't advise you to avoid it. Of course, as time goes on, your chances increase of your PC encountering some type of infection too, as you do nothing. Because at some point, your actions of use in every day, you're going to be in a situation to more than likely it's going to happen as time goes on. And the result of that could be a lot of costly repairs, or you may even have to replace your computer because some can do such damage to where that could be necessary. There's an interesting report from the FBI in 2006. It was an article on cnet.com that the viruses and malware cost U.S. businesses, I believe it was over $67 billion that year. So I can imagine what it is today. And that's not even including the cost of how the civilian sector was, or home user sector was affected as well from that tax. So be conscious of your PC's health is what I could recommend you do. And avoid not only being hit by a virus, but being hit in your pocketbook as well. And so I like the preventative measure is the best way to do it. As they say, what is it? Cost preventive is worth a pound of cure, however that saying goes, and it has weight, not only just, as far as humans are concerned, but PCs as well. And thanks for listening.
Good job.